Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So for today's video I'm going to be doing something a bit different, I suppose you could say, from what I would normally do. This video is going to be unscripted, so it might sound a bit rambly, a bit kind of all over the place at times. So yeah, I've got no script for this. I've got a vague idea of kind of what I want to say, but beyond that, yeah, so I hope it's not too much of a mess, and I hope that you can all make some sense out of it. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about how much Doctor Who means to me, and I'm kind of doing this because of how recently this past week has been, I believe it's been called Autism Acceptance Week. I believe it may have ended by the time you're watching this, but never mind, you know, better late than never, I suppose. It ran from the 2nd to the 8th of April, and yeah, I wanted to kind of like do something about it. I've kind of been wanting to do something for a few years about kind of my autism, basically, because, you know, it's something which it does kind of relate a lot to my interest and passion for Doctor Who. And, you know, it's a bit difficult. The reason why I've kind of not done it for such a while is because, like, I wanted to do it last year, but I didn't do it because I felt like it would be kind of like, it'd be a bit too much of a personal subject to really kind of, for me to talk about. And yeah, it was just kind of like opening myself up to people who I don't really kind of know. I don't mean that in a horrible way, but hopefully you get what I mean, like people on the internet, you know. And yeah, that is kind of something which, I mean, it's very strange, isn't it, to think about, for me to do a video talking about how much a TV show, of all things, means to me. I think if someone who was not a Doctor Who fan kind of watched this video, they may be thinking, well, you know, how is that possible? It's just a TV show, you know. But obviously it means a lot to all of us, really. It means a lot to so many fans across the world, whether they've got autism or not, you know, it doesn't... But yeah, I think really kind of the main reason for why I like it so much is because... I suppose it's that classic thing of escapism, really. And as I say, you know, everyone can kind of relate to that, regardless of if they got autism or not. And just this whole kind of thing of being able to... It's just that general thing, isn't it? Being able to watch your favourite TV show or film, or read your favourite book, or do your favourite hobby, or whatever it is, just to kind of unwind after a long, stressful, tiring day. School, college in my case, or at work, or whatever it might be. Yeah, you kind of get some time to kind of de-stress, unwind yourself, and just relax and doing what it is that you want to be doing, basically. And Doctor Who is very much that for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you watching, hopefully, as well. And yeah, I don't know, it's just... Without... I mean, it's going to sound really like kind of... I don't know, I'm just going to kind of say it. It's like, to me, Doctor Who sometimes makes more sense than the real world does, really. Yeah, that might sound like really weird and potentially like getting a bit philosophical and stuff like that, but hopefully you get what I mean. Like, it's just that case of, you know, it's that classic case of good versus evil, and kind of just how, you know, yeah, it doesn't always, you know, like, real life is a lot more complicated than that, obviously, and it's kind of just good to sometimes, I suppose, just watch something that is not more simplistic, but, you know, just kind of more, you know, it's... Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I really don't know. But yeah, it is just something which has always been a part of my life for as long as I can really remember, really. I don't remember not being a Doctor Who fan. Again, that might sound really weird and sad, but it's the truth of it. It's just always been something which I have been interested in, and it's always been a part of my life, really. And, and yeah, it's so weird to kind of like say all of this about a TV show. It's that thing again of like, if like a outsider, as it were to watch this, they'd be like, how can a TV show mean that much to you? But I think that is something which I think hopefully, if like fellow fans will kind of be able to relate to a bit. It's just, it's that escapism, it's that inspiration, I suppose, and and how it can kind of bring out like the creativity side in people. It can cause people to go on to do whatever it is that they want to do. It can cause people to have their own dream jobs and stuff like that. I mean, it's inspired people like Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat to become showrunners on running the show and writing for it, and I'm sure it's inspired people even if they've not worked on the show themselves. It still inspired them in some shape or form with whatever it is they end up doing as a career, as a job. And yeah, it's just that thing of you either kind of understand what I mean or you don't, in a way. Like, you either are yourself a fan and kind of are inspired to do stuff that you find interesting because of your interest and passion in Doctor Who, or you just don't quite get it. But yeah, I think it's kind of good how, I suppose nowadays it's become a bit more sort of common for people to say the things that I'm saying, and how with my autism, and how with the autism aspect, it's I kind of my particular form of autism is very much one where I will obsess over things and interests and hobbies and stuff like that. And Doctor Who's probably been the one kind of interest that has kind of always been a real passion of mine. And everything else has kind of just gone up and down in my kind of estimations, as it were. Doctor Who's been the one thing that I've always been interested in, and the one thing that has always inspired me. It's obviously inspired me to start this YouTube channel. It inspired me to do all these videos I've been doing. It inspired me to do the what ifs, all the compilations and montages. It's inspired me to do all sorts, for my college final major projects. At the minute, I'm trying to do a scene recreation of a Doctor Who scene, particularly the first regeneration scene, and that is, something which I feel a lot more kind of enthusiastic about doing than I would if it was just as like doing a scene recreation of something that I'm not that interested in, if that makes any sense. It's not just another project for me. It's like something that I'm really enthusiastic about. And, it's been kind of, I can kind of struggle to kind of talk to people. And I think kind of when I meet people in real life, especially, once they kind of get to know that how much I enjoy Doctor Who, I feel like that could kind of break the ice a bit, and it could just help me to make new friends and stuff like that. Even if they're not that passionate about it themselves, it can still be good to kind of talk about it with people, and that could be anyone, family, friends, or whoever. And it could just be, it's just something which, as much as some people may kind of look at autism negatively, I think it's important that, you know, we recognise the fact that autism is actually, it's not really completely positive or completely negative. It's just something which is just, it's just a part of who I am, essentially. And, you know, sometimes that's for better, sometimes that's for worse. Like, I do genuinely struggle to not get stressed and worked up about things. And yeah, that is something which I've always struggled with, probably always will, really. I've gotten better at it over the years, but even now, you know, and that can still rear its ugly head when it comes to, like, this YouTube channel, for example, dealing with comments where I might kind of, because it's kind of difficult for me to always understand how someone means something. Someone could mean something just in a jokey sort of way, and I could take it seriously, and then, you know, it becomes really awkward, and it's just kind of like, I've, as much as I've tried my best to work on that, and I have definitely gotten better at it over the years, it's still something which I find challenging even now as a grown adult. And yeah, it's just, autism is not black and white. It is just something which, it's got good bits to it, it's got bad bits to it, and that is, as is the case with a lot of things in life, really. You know, it's not, some people I think do genuinely think it's something that needs to be cured, for lack of a better term, but honestly, I don't think it does. I think autism, even the worst parts of it, can still, well, it's still a really important aspect of who I am as a person, and I would never want to want that to be cured. I wouldn't want that to go away. I want to keep the sort of passion and interest in things like Doctor Who that my autism kind of gives me, because yeah, it's inspired me to do all sorts of things. As I say, it's inspired me to hopefully to, you know, I want to become a scriptwriter myself one day, and I feel like I wouldn't really want to do that if it wasn't for my autism and if it wasn't for my particular interest in Doctor Who. And you know, there's just, yeah, there's just a whole, I could just talk all day about this, really. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you kind of made some sense out of all of what I said. I don't know if I've made that much sense. As I say, this wasn't scripted, so it might sound really rambly, really confusing, really all over the place. But yeah, hopefully you get the general sort of gist of it. Yeah, it's, honestly, as I say, it's really strange because I feel kind of okay now with kind of telling people who, you know, just kind of, I've never even met, really. I feel more or less alright with kind of telling you all a bit more about myself, I suppose, really. And kind of just saying, this is me, this is why I sometimes get really stressed and worked up about stuff, and why I may kind of come across as being a bit grumpy, I suppose, with some comments. I really don't mean to be, and honestly, if I've upset anybody at any point with that, I really do apologise. As I say, I try my best not to get like that and to try and be as open-minded as possible about things, but sometimes it is just difficult for me to, it sounds really silly, but it is like something which I can struggle at times to properly sort of deal with people having different opinions to me and different perspectives, and people, you know, like I kind of struggle sometimes if someone's not being that polite about something. It can really get to me, to be honest, and that is something that I shouldn't really be letting, I shouldn't really let it get to me. I should kind of just leave it and just say, well, it's not worth getting all stressed and worked up about. But it is difficult, and I do try my best to work on it all the time. And yeah, as I say, I feel like I've gotten better at it, but if I have genuinely upset anybody over the few years I've been doing this now, then I am sorry about that. Please don't take it personally. It's really not intended, as any sort of personal attack against you or anything like that. But yeah, so as I say, hopefully you made some kind of sense out of all this. I'm not really expecting this video to get that many views, compared to like my more popular videos like my what ifs and compilations and stuff. But if a few of you are interested in this video and kind of wants to comment below like what Doctor Who means to you, or if you're autistic yourself, I mean, you don't have to comment below if you're not. You don't have to be autistic to comment below, but you know what I mean. Like, if you are autistic and are also a Doctor Who fan, like, you can, if you feel comfortable doing that, you can comment below what it means to you, how it's kind of inspired, and kind of just what kind of impact it's had on your life, I suppose, really. But yeah, so thanks very much for watching this very rambly, very strange video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to click that subscribe button below, as well as press the bell icon at the side of it, so that you will stay notified when all my new videos come out. I am going to be doing more what if soon, for example, so if you want to stay notified, if you want to get to see them when they come out, then please do subscribe. And yeah, I will see you all in another video. So until next time, bye bye.